Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's the next day. I don't know why the elves didn't come and clean that last night. I said I was going to do it, and I didn't do it, so I got to do that today. But that's all right. Last night, got that drilled and tapped, and I believe I'm going to drill and tap a hole. You got to be on the other side of this right here. So it's got to be either here or here. And you got to be careful where your rod goes. So anyway, I got to do a little cipher in there where I want it to be. Probably going to be on the outside right here. Now when you pour the oil in, after you change the oil, it'll get some back here, because this is what lubricates that gear, is the oil that's sitting in this trough. And the extra comes up around, dumps into this side, and it runs down and goes right into the crankcase. So if you put it in on the front side, it just drains right back in right there. And a lot of people don't realize this is engine oil on this first set of gears. So anyway, we'll go to cleaning. I'm not going to bore you with that, but we are clean enough here to do that. And I will put probably a 1/2-inch pipe plug right here. Something I can just put a little funnel in and pour I'll probably dump a whole quart into it. I think the book says something like, I don't know if it's a pint or what it is, but anyway, I'll put a quart into it, enough so that I know that it's got some oil on that gear. And of course, you're always losing some oil out of the bearing. You know, this stuff here is drooling out and coming down, but it doesn't make a lot in here. But there is access to it. So anyway, I'll bring you back in a bit. Well, I've just spent about a half hour going over this, washing it, scraping it. All the gasket is off. It's got a little bit of color, but I'm not going to chase it. I have ran a tap in every one of the holes. Put the spacer back on. That is a must. If you forget that, you will ruin your input shaft of the transmission. So that's something you got to make sure is on there. And I am going to open up that gasket, which is up there now, because everything moves in this shop. And I'm going to put it on with some high tack. I am going to put some lube on it. And yeah, if I have to pull it off later, I'll have to do some pounding and scraping, but that's all right. So I got this put up in the hand. I'm going to just torque it to 45. John Deere doesn't give a spec, but I like consistency. So it goes just a little more. Beautiful. Washer goes on first, then the nut. Now there is room enough for that to go under the cover like that. I already checked. Like that so it don't blow anywhere. And then we'll do a nice neat job. Beautiful, nice and tight. Get you a little closer. So anyway, that's what I did. I could have had that ear there a little short up, but that's all right. Won't hurt nothing. So this stuff, you don't want it to be loose. So that's a perfect job. So now we've got that done. The book says to put a half a quart of oil in behind this dam right here before you put all this stuff on, but we're just gonna pour it in here when we get done. So we don't have to deal with that. My next thing to put on is this dust shield right here. Where is the dust cover? You can see with the last person that put this dust cover on, you can see right here it's blue. That was a no-no. They didn't do it right. So anyway, I'm gonna wire wheel this back. I'll do a bunch of cleaning off camera, get that gasket cleaned up. And then we'll get back and we'll throw it on there and throw the clutch on there, get it so that it will fit, and yeah, we'll continue on. So this thing, I'm getting ready to put it back on, and I don't know if you can see that, but these bolt holes have been pulled terribly. So we're on a piece of 3/4 inch steel. And we're just pounding that stuff back. Beautiful. I don't know if I can get into that one. Boy, that one's, yeah, maybe. That one's got this drain right close to it. But we got it on the edge. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, got a new gasket made. 16th inch cork. The old one was too hard. I knew not to try to use it. Well, of course I'd lose one. Drop it right in the floor dry. And we will put this up just snug enough that we can still move it. Now it's just a little too tight. There we go. What we'll do is we'll put that on, and we have about a 1/16 of an inch we can adjust this. Now, these big cotter pins we need to get rid of. I've got rid of one of them already over here. They did actually have the pins in the right direction because that engine is always driving this pulley that way. Am I right when I say that? Yes. Goes forward, which is this way. So these should all be put in that way, just the way they have it here. So it is incorrect on one sense, but they frigged up. I got this held with a... These are extremely stiff cotter pins that I'm putting in. And as you can see, I got the other end of the pin held with the... I'm actually going to move it a little bit so I can get a better advantage on it. And it'll take a few minutes to get each one of these in. Now that we've got it started, we'll move it down. Rehook a little bit, bend it a little further. Now we will see if we can bend it around. There we go. That side bent around. This side here might be a little too long to do that, but let's see if we can cut just a skosh off. Yeah, of course I lost where the end of that went. I'll have to locate it in a minute. But I got it short enough now that we can crimp that right over. Come on. That is how it should look when you get done. There shouldn't be anything sticking out. And it may take a little bit of time to do it, but it's worth it. I've got to flip this thing upside down, make sure I can find that piece of cotter pin that I just cut off. Yeah, I don't know where the hell it went. So I'll bring it back. So I just did the top end too on that same one. You can see they've got these great big long tails. You know, all that stuff shouldn't be out there hitting stuff. I'm just replacing them. If you put it through the other way, it gives you more room to bend the tails around. So, and technically this side here, it's rotating that way. You should have the tails on the opposite side, because you're looking at one side from one way and then the other. But anyway, I'm reversing them, taking them out, putting them right. Then I got two more. I got the 4 cotter pins here. I'll bring you back when I get it done. I was just looking at this. I was cutting the tails off, getting ready to pull this one out. Look how much they had left that they didn't tighten up. I don't know really what they were trying to do, but anyway, we're fixing it. So there is clean grease in here. The guy we got it off, I would say, had just packed the clutch, or somebody else packed it 20 years ago and never ran it enough to get the grease off in it. Anyway, there's plenty of grease in there. All of them have been done. So let's go see if we can get this on. And in case you're curious, I did find that piece of cotter pin. I didn't show it, but I did find it. Come on. There we go. I am not okay, I think I got to be just a skosh tighter on them. Let's see here if we can't get this happy. Well, that sound. Just a little bit of stuff in the front right here. Boy, I think that's a win right there. So if we pull this out about like so, well, we'll take it right out for now, I guess. And we will see about snugging these up. After we get it snugged, I will do another test. There we go. Those are all plenty tight. Now let's see what she does. Rubs a little bit somewhere. I got grease there and I got grease on the bottom. So apparently this is probably distorted. I'm gonna run it. She'll make her own clearance if she needs to. Anyway, we'll pull it off. Let's do some safety wiring. Almost need a pair of needle nose, I guess. Pretty nice though when they're all headed in the right direction. Beautiful. Now we can put that pulley on. Close enough. That. Now we got our drive. There is always a short spline. Don't know if you can see if that short spline is right there. And there's a pin right there by my thumb. Those have to be lined up. Absolutely have to be. Or this tractor will vibrate like you can't imagine. It goes just like so. There usually is, and I ain't got my flashlight, on a lot of the A's and stuff, they'll have a, I didn't wash this one enough to see, but a lot of them have a V, and that V will go towards another V or towards the pin. They're all a little different, seems like, one year to the next, but this one's got a 45 stamped on it here. And the flywheel over there has got a 45. I bet that they're matched. Somebody asked what that 45 was. And I would imagine that probably from the factory was a matched pair as far as being balanced. That's just my guess. But they both have a 45 on them. So anyway, that would be the only thing that would make any sense. So I'm going to put the nut on this. Which there's the washer. Okay, I found the nut on the floor where everything else was. Okay, after I stopped filming, I went a whole half a turn more. So, and it's just barely pounded now. I mean, I had trouble getting to this nut, to this cotter pin hole. So, the book does not give a description on torque. It says tighten it tight as you can get it. That's right from the John Deere manual. Well, 170 pound man versus, 300 pound horse is going to be quite a bit different. But anyway, that's what they give for specifications. Tighten it as tight as you can get it. So I pounded it up with the impact. Like I said, I got about another half turn on it. And we are just about ready to put the rest of the drive on. So the spring just goes in against the housing, like so. And then we'll put these nuts on, just enough to hold stuff up. Looks like the there we go. There we go. Get that clutch in there where it belongs. You can reach it from the outside, so it ain't no big deal. just snug these up to hand because we're going to have to adjust later. Yeah, that'll hold the actual clutch face up where it belongs. Now we're going to get the yoke on, the actual clutch yoke that engages everything. Funny thing about putting this first reduction cover on, when you do it, make sure that this actual clutch lever is up on top of your power trowel. Because you can slide this on and it can be in through here and you can't get it out till you take it back off. And I've done it. So, you know, no shame in it if you do it. It's just, but I'm trying to save somebody some aggravation. It's pretty damn discouraging when you get everything all tightened up, especially if you put high tack or something on. And then, you know, 6-7 hours later, you notice it. But anyway, I've done it in the past. So that's the only reason I probably got it right this time. Hard lesson learned. Anyway, I'm going to go get that stuff cleaned up and we will assemble that. So I'm getting ready to adjust this. Make sure that that's engaged. And then take these up. You don't need to torque them. Just take them out until they're all about the same. That one there might be a little, now we'll back them up a little. And then we'll come in till they're all about the same. And this can be done just with your wrist. So now, you can start to hear it camming a little bit. So now what you have to do is find all of the cotter pin holes. That one has got one there. And that one's got one there. And that one's right there. So what we'll do is we will go one castle to a time. Then we'll see what it feels like, and then we'll disengage it. And we might have to go another castle or two. Something like that. That actually feels about right. It's good enough to start with. I'll adjust it later once I get it running. According to the book, 70 to 90 pounds on the top of that lever to engage this. Seems like an awful lot, but that's what the book actually calls for. I usually probably make it around 50. I don't put it up as high as what the book says. I never have, you know. I've had my, well, Carol's kids, grandkids, different people on tractors before. If you put a young kid on 70 to 90 pounds pull, they can't disengage the clutch. And they don't seem to slip. I mean, I've never had them slip. And usually you only have to adjust the clutch up maybe once every 5-6 years. They don't wear much. So if they were slipping, they'd wear a lot. That's going to be it for this video on this first reduction. It's pretty simple, straightforward, a pain in the ass. I am going to go. I haven't done that yet. This is all tightened up. I have wire wheeled this. I am going to, in the lathe, make a round, about a 3/4 inch diameter button with a hole in it that will protect the grease fitting. And I'm going to weld it on here and then drill a hole through it. And after I bolt this on, then we can grease. So I'll show you that after I get it done. I don't think I'll show making it because I'm not a machinist, but I'll do that later. And that way about, you know, once a year you can put 3-4 shots into this bearing, because this one is shielded on the back side, not on this side. I took that shield out. Probably the first time I grease it, I'll probably put 10 or 15 shots in it. But then after that, once a year, just give it 2 or 3 shots and it'll be good enough. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, everybody. Hope everybody's keeping safe, and we will see you on the next one.